Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Yes, it has been a long time since my last video. I've been extremely busy with a lot of church work. I went on 2 mission trips. I went to Vietnam and then I went to a Native American reservation. I had 2 weeks of VBS and then I just came back from a youth summer retreat. And so it's been wild, it's been hectic, it's been fun, but I love what I do. But anyways, today, what I want to do is I want to talk about wisdom. Who are some people that you would consider to be wise? For me, when I think of wisdom, I immediately think of people like Yoda or Obi-Wan from Star Wars, or Uncle Iroh from the Avatar series, or Shifu from Kung Fu Panda, or here's my favorite, Mufasa from The Lion King. But we all know that the wisest person in all of history is King Solomon from the Bible. And do you know what's so interesting about King Solomon? What's so interesting about him is that when he was about to become the next king of Israel, God asked Solomon for whatever he wanted to help him become the next king. And do you know what King Solomon asked for? He didn't ask for more power or more wealth or more influence as a king. He didn't ask for any of those things. But the one thing that he asked for before becoming the next king was wisdom, because he knew that he needed wisdom in order to make the right choices and to be fit as a king. And I personally believe that everyone could use a bit more wisdom in their lives, including me, right? And so in this video, I'm gonna break down this topic into 3 questions. Question number 1, what is wisdom? Question number 2, why is wisdom important? And question number 3, how can I attain it? And so with that said, let's get started. So question number 1, what is wisdom? And oftentimes, wisdom is linked with intelligence and knowledge. And yes, there is some overlap, but there is a stark difference between the two. And so this is how I would define the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is the accumulation of information. It's the ability to retain as much content as you can. But wisdom is the discernment of all the accumulated information. What it does is it takes the information and it rightly applies it in a given situation. So in short, wisdom is kind of like good judgment. So you can be intelligent and you can still lack wisdom because wisdom is on how you use the information. And Charles Spurgeon, he said it this way. He said, wisdom is the right use of knowledge. To know is not to be wise. Many men know a great deal, and they're all the greater fools for it. There is no fool so great a fool as a knowing fool. But to know how to use knowledge is to have wisdom. So there's a quote that I've heard a lot of people use when defining wisdom, and the quote is something like this. Knowledge is knowing that tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. So wisdom goes beyond knowledge and involves making sound judgment and decisions. It's the ability to discern between right and wrong, truth and deception, and good and evil. Wisdom gives insight and understanding into various areas of our lives, such as relationships and ethics and making decisions and spiritual matters. And so wisdom is knowing when to speak loudly and when to listen in silence. Wisdom is knowing when to take bold action, but it's also knowing when to relax and rest in peace. Wisdom is knowing when to teach, but it's also knowing when to be teachable. Wisdom is knowing when to be loving and affectionate, but it's also knowing when to be truthful and assertive. And so, in short, knowledge is the accumulation of information, but wisdom is the discernment and the application of all that knowledge. Question number 2, why is it important? Wisdom is important and necessary because we make so many decisions. There are some studies that say that the average human being, like you and me, we make anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 decisions each day, which is a lot. Now, some decisions are very small and minor, like choosing what to wear or choosing what to eat. And so those decisions, they don't require much effort. However, there are decisions that are more significant and require a bit more thought and time and intentionality. So, for example, some questions that might require wisdom are what college and university should I attend? What career path or what career job should I take? Or should I accept this job position that I received? Maybe for those who are in a relationship, a question that requires wisdom is, should I marry this person? Do I want to continue in this relationship? Or if you're a parent, what school should you send your kids to? And so wisdom is important because it gives us a godly perspective and a godly insight into decisions that you and I had to make each day. Question number 3, how can I attain wisdom? Now, here's a common misconception about wisdom. Most people think that when it comes to wisdom, that wisdom comes with life experience and age. Now, there is some truth to that, and so it's wise to seek out mentors and people who are in front of you. However, wisdom is not limited to a certain group of people, and it's not limited to a certain age range. Wisdom is a gift from God. Proverbs chapter 2 verse 6 says this, "For the Lord gives wisdom, and from his mouth come knowledge and understanding." So wisdom is a gift to be received from God. Now the question is, how do we attain it? And the Bible tells us that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So the starting point for wisdom is actually reverence for God. It means recognizing that God is wiser than all of us, and that his ways and that his thoughts are higher than ours. And so wisdom starts with proper reverence to him. Second, becoming wise means having a teachable heart and a teachable spirit. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 5 says this, "Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance." When we have an open heart to learn, we are in a position to receive wisdom from God and from others. And so being teachable recognizes that we don't know everything, and to be able to admit that requires a spirit of humility. And so a wise person admits that they don't have all the answers, but they're willing to learn. Wisdom, it's not about knowing it all, but it's about being humble enough to keep learning from God and from others. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned a lot. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya. Welcome back to the corny joke of the day. So, what is the longest sentence in the entire world? A life sentence. Boom.